Alrighty, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be talking about how I keep track of my monthly spending and also how I keep track of the big picture of all my financials. All right, so welcome to the monthly budget 2021 template. Don't worry, I know it's a lot to start, but I'm going to go through each part of the sheet to make sure you understand everything. What you're looking at right now is the totals page, and this is sort of a summary page about all your spending over the course of what will be all of 2021. At the bottom, you can see January, February, March, so a breakdown of the spending per month, and things will automatically get included into this totals sheet, which is pretty cool. But first, let's start with the transactions on a monthly basis. So here in the January tab, you can see it broken down by expenses on the left and income on the right. And what I do every month is I go through all the accounts that have any sort of change. And so account 1, account 2, account 3, and I go through the checklist, adding all the transactions to this list down here. In almost all cases, you can download a CSV from your bank, and that will be really helpful when you're looking to make a list of your transactions down here below. Now, most of these columns are pretty self-explanatory, but one I want to talk about is the category field here. Now, it's important that you have consistent categories across months because this is what's going to be tallied in the totals tab. So it's important that you're consistent in how you're labeling all your categories. Another thing you can see is that I have two amount columns, one for US dollars and one for euros. Now, this is because some of my transactions are in different currencies. It's important to pick one currency for the entirety of your template. And what I do, I've chosen US dollars, and whenever I have a euro amount, I try to convert it to US dollars as quickly as possible so that there's not any confusion with comparing different types of currencies. So this column helps out with that. Another thing I've done is I've put a conversion rate at the top of each of these sheets. And so this is the conversion rate that you should use when you're making each of these conversions. This is actually a reference to the total sheet where I have a global variable that is the conversion from US dollars to euros. And this is important because I just change it once here and it'll be shown across all my pages, this conversion from euros to dollars, which is important as the conversion rate changes. Last tip that I want to say is that in this column, I often include my expenses and income as both positive values. And this is important to keep track of because if your signs are confusing, then that'll make it more difficult to add everything together in the totals tab. So now I want to show you how this all comes together in the totals tab. So at the top here, we see a financial overview. And so this is going to be an overview of all the money across all your different accounts. Next, we have a monthly savings category to help you keep track of all your savings per month. Lastly, the spending by category, which is also pretty self-explanatory, but it will automatically be updated to reflect how you're spending in each of those categories, and also includes a planning component so you can see how your actual spending relates to your planned spending. Now in this monthly spending by category section, I want to show you how each of these sections relates to the prior sheet. Like for example, how the January column is going to relate to the January transactions sheet over here. Because it's very cool that it automatically uploads, but you need to understand why it does that so that if you ever need to change it or if I've made a mistake, you can also fix it. All the magic actually happens in this actual column here. And this function that I use, it's comprised of two different parts. The first part is a sum if statement or a sum if function. And the second part is an if error function. And I'm going to start with what's inside the sum if function. Basically what I'm telling it to do is to add up everything if the category is the same name as the category over here. Like for example, food. And so what I'm telling it to do is go through the January's page, check if the category is equal to this thing that's over here, and if so, add up everything and put it in this spot right here. And this is how it works for January on the expenses side, on the income side, and for all the other months. This is the one thing that's the most complicated, and if you understand it, then you'll understand exactly how everything in all of these pages works. The second part of it is the if error function, and this goes around the sum if function, and it's essentially an error handling tool. And by that, what I mean is that if you haven't filled out your transactions yet, it'll return an error because it can't sum all these things if nothing exists yet. And so the idea is that instead of returning an error, let's just return a 0 until you actually put everything you need in the transactions column. So it's sort of like a placeholder until you actually add everything you need in the monthly transaction sheets. So scrolling down, I want to show you that there's one of these for every single month, and these are all going to be dynamically related to the monthly transaction sheets that I've shown you, just like the January one. Next, I want to transition to the second column, which is this monthly savings category. And basically how this one works is it's dynamically related to the outcomes or the totals column of all of these categories down below. So this actual expense of January will be shown in the expenses of January up here. And this is how it is for every single month. And then we have an average of your savings per month right here. The beauty of this part of the sheet is you never have to touch it. If your monthly spending by category is all good and clean, then this will be automatically updated for you and it will look really nice. Another thing to note is that this average savings per month, this can be a helpful thing for you to keep track of. For me, I have a monthly savings goal, and if I miss it one month, next month, I gotta get it back. And so this is a good way. That's why it's an average savings per month, so you can see really how you're doing over time. The last part of my sheet that I wanna show you is this financial overview part. So in this part of the sheet, you can see broken down by every single month how much money is in all of your different accounts. Now this includes investment accounts, it includes savings accounts, everything in your life, all your money, put it all here. And the purpose of this part of the sheet is to show you where all your money is across all your different accounts. Now, a confusing thing here is you may have accounts that are cross currencies. So you can see I have euros here as account number 1 and US dollars for all the other ones. This is important to keep in mind for the totals tab because my current function will multiply the euros amount by the conversion rate. And so keep that in mind if you're going to edit this for yourself. The point of this is to have all your different accounts listed here and all the money you have in all of them, so you have an accurate picture about what's happening with your financial situation overall. Yeah, so that's it. Not much more to say. That's the template right there. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's useful to you. If you have any comments about how to make it better, like if I've messed up somewhere, I'll change the template. Also, if you want me to explain more about how a particular part of it works, also let me know and I'm happy to make another video. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. We done.